Nolan, a week before you get married and you find a Yankee hat in Sarah's closet. I mean, is that where you draw the line?
That would already be sniffed out. But yes, I would draw the line there.
If she pulled out a Yankees hat in her closet, you would end it at this point in your relationship right now.
Yeah.
I mean,
All right, welcome back, Couch Critics. It's Monday, y'all. Quick applause for us, for all three of us. Quick applause for everybody. We've got me in Las Vegas, Brad in Palm Desert, and every day is a vacation for Freddy. So we are all on vacation, and we're all out here to record for the people. For the people, right?
I'm
For
the
people.
only one today.
Yes.
Got to turn the room over for the new guests. Got a lot of laundry to do.
5 stars. I'm going to give that host 5 stars the last couple of days. I'll tell you that much.
Any complaints, though?
No complaints. No complaints.
Okay.
None at all.
Everything.
But we did squeeze in the movie together.
What a treat that is. So that's kind of, you guys were sending your stuff throughout the week, and we did almost have the biggest controversy in It's Monday All History, but I'll skip that.
Yeah.
And just say that I was envious of what was happening. I was.
We did have some fun, man. We did have some fun. We'll talk about it a little bit more on Monday to go over it. But yeah, we had some fun in San Diego. That's for sure.
Absolutely. All right. Well, you two watched together the drama. I saw this movie weeks ago in the theater. Robert Pattinson, Zendaya, a couple of other big names. A pretty interesting film. Obviously, with those cast of people, it came with a lot of anticipation. So either of you want to start?
We'll let Freddy be the anchor, but I'll go first.
Okay.
I'll go first. So it was an interesting movie. If you watch the trailer, it tells you that there's a secret. You know, they get into the room and they're talking like, what's the biggest, I forget, what was the term they used? Like the
worst thing you ever did.
Yeah, the worst thing you ever did, right? And like, it's crazy. Like, you know, Nolan, for example, you've known Sarah for a year or so. Like, what if she came to you and was like, you know, and my Sarah, we had known each other for a couple years and ended up getting married. Like, what is that thing that somebody would say to you that would be a deal killer? Now, when she dropped the bomb, I was not expecting that. I don't know what you guys were expecting, so I'm very interested to hear. I thought it was going to go a little different, but when she dropped the bomb that she like thought about shooting up a school, I was blown away. I thought it was crazy. And then they do the backstory. The cast was good. I thought it was weird to me. And both Fred and I had to look up how old he was because he looks young in the movie. Like he's 40 years old, which I didn't realize. I thought he was, so I was looking back, like how old was he when Twilight? And Fred looked it up. It was 20 years ago. So I don't know. The guy doesn't age. I guess that's the moral of the story. But I thought the movie kind of dragged on a little bit. You know, the ending was okay, but it was a strange movie, but I would have to go 3.1 is where I would be at. Not too excited about it. Would I watch it again? No. But it does leave that feeling like, what would somebody say to you before they got married that would just literally blow this thing up? School shooting might be one of them.
Yeah, pretty crazy.
Yeah.
And that's why this movie was kind of, I don't want to necessarily say it was controversial because I don't necessarily know if it was that, but I heard a lot about people leaving the theater when they found out that that's what the movie was kind of based around, just based off of like the uncomfortable nature of that topic today. So,
well, no, and I was when I was obviously watching the movie, my first thought was I'm surprised that more people didn't, I guess in my circle, my social media, more people didn't talk about it and say, oh my gosh, I can't believe they're broaching this subject, right? Because at the end of the day, dude, people are crazy. Right? People are crazy nowadays, and there's got to be a ton of people who have that thought. They never act on it. Maybe they do. Maybe they're upset. And mental health's a thing, man. And it's a problem in this country. And so, that's a very controversial subject to bring up. And obviously, we were talking at lunch today, and all of us are about the same age that I'm with on this trip. When I looked it up, and Columbine was in '99, which I didn't realize that. I thought it was later. I knew I was in college, but I thought it was a little bit later. And that was probably the biggest one that was like the most controversial. And I think that we looked it up, there was like 13 people that died. But it is a crazy controversial subject, Nolan, and I'm surprised that there wasn't more kickback from this.
There was a decent amount, I think, just because. But I think that the point of it was to bring it to light and to talk about it a little bit. But all right, 3.1, Brad, you good there? I'll just go into mine. Okay.
Yeah, go into yours, bud.
So it was hard because I was debating rewatching it again, but I didn't really want to do that. And that should sort of tell you where I'm kind of going with this and the feedback. a lot of people like this movie. I feel like they like it because they feel like they should, right? Just based off of who's in it and sort of the popularity behind it. I didn't really like it that much. I thought that the situation, it didn't really make sense because, like, yeah, the school shooting thing is like awful, right? But also, like, what the other girl did is like she actually did it, and it just like felt like it wasn't. It just got breezed. It was just like water under the bridge. And now that's of course like that girl. She's one of the Haim sisters. She was at courtside at one of the Knicks games with Taylor Swift, and that's like the joke is like I can't believe she's sitting courtside like when she locked some kid in a thing and then didn't tell anybody or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So the movie's called Drama. This movie to me is way too dramatic. Like I was kind of annoyed throughout the whole thing, especially the second half of it. And I thought that Robert Pattinson, like I couldn't relate to how he was reacting very much. I think for him to be like disturbed and uncomfortable and not knowing what to do is natural, but like the way that he was doing it was like very strange. And I just couldn't like relate to it, especially like when he stands up at the wedding and just like fumbles over his words constantly. I just felt like that again was a little bit dramatic. But my favorite scene from the movie was when the his coworker is at the wedding and Zendaya is in the room with him, and she goes and gets his coworker, and then the coworker instantly thinks that it's a vow when they had that inner altercation in the office. You know, you saw that coming, right? And it was just
Yeah.
perfect. So that was my my favorite part. But everything else, like the flashbacks and his like thoughts and about like the school shooting, kind of seeing her doing it and stuff. It just I didn't like it. So this movie, I think people like it and I think it's good. It's just not for me. So with that all said, I did give it a 3 out of 5. So I wasn't a big fan. Sarah was a bigger fan than me. 3 out of
Really?
5. Really have much to say here. It's just not a movie for me, and it is disturbing. It is uncomfortable, but a little bit too dramatic, which I understand is ironic based off of the title.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I think the concept of the movie is great. Like, I think it could have been better, regardless of what the worst things were. I just think that whole concept is a great concept to talk about or make a movie about, like finding something out the week before you're getting married. Like, I just think that it could have been a really good movie if it went in a different direction. The school shooting thing. And here's another thing, Nolan, I would say this too. I had no clue that this was going to be a controversial movie. Like, I had no clue like that. And I feel like me being on social media a lot and stuff like that, I'm surprised I didn't see anybody like react to it or talk about it or, that school shooting part. And I was like blown away when she came out
Yeah.
with that. I had no clue what she was going to say. I thought they were going to tie something in where when he said he was cyberbullying somebody, I thought it was going to be her and that would have tied everything in, like not knowing it, I don't know.
That would be great.
But, the person moved and this and that. And it would have been interesting if that was part of the whole, whatever. I did think it was a good movie. It was very slow moving, that was the other thing too. There was not a lot going on from start to finish, really. I mean, but it does, it makes you think about some shit though. So I guess that was pretty cool. A lot of these movies you watch and you just don't even give a shit. Like, this one, you kind of like think about the situation. With that being said, I mean, I would give it a 3.6. I thought it could have been a better movie. That concept, I think, was awesome. Like, and if they could have tied it in some way to each other, I think that would have been kind of cool and stuff. But or better for the movie. And it was tough. It was tough it should come with a warning. The movie should come with some kind of warning on it because it's not for everybody, especially that topic. I don't know if that topic is for anyone, let alone, I think, people should understand that it may be a little uncomfortable going it. I had no clue. I thought it was going to be like kind of like a dumb, stupid thing that happened. Like I just had no clue that that's where this movie went. But I mean, I would ask the question, like, where do you draw the line if you found out a week before your spouse you were getting married? Like, what are the things? I mean, this is a huge talking point, I think, that can be explored. Like, you know, like if you Nolan, a week before you get married and you find a Yankee hat in Sarah's closet, I mean, is that where you draw the line?
That would already be sniffed out. But yes, I would draw the line there.
If she pulled out a Yankees hat in her closet, you would end it at this point in your relationship right now.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd hate to see what he did if she was going to shoot up a school.
God. I mean, dude, it is like crazy because I think the way you described it, Freddie, now that I'm again recalling a lot of this, the movie is so slow. Like it is excruciatingly slow.
Yes.
Like, and I think that fits Pattinson pretty well, right? Like that his, you know, the way he just kind of carries himself and the way he looks. But I mean, geez, it was just like, you know, once you hit like, I can't even remember how long into the movie is, like maybe after 30 minutes, the next 2 hours is like all about school shooting. Like it's just constantly being brought back up, right? Obviously it's like the major part of the movie. So again, to me, super drawn out, just like over the top. And that Heim sister, she's just intolerable. Like her character is the worst. Like
Well,
every time.
They
Go ahead.
also threw in the side story about her cousin, you know,
Yeah.
being shot in a school shooting and is now in a wheelchair. So that was
Yeah.
like a side little story. The storyline, the little side story with him, like basically ripping that girl's shirt off at work and stuff. I didn't know what that was about. It was kind of corny. I don't know.
It's
Not
like,
sure
it's interesting because it's like, okay, like you're dealing with this like issue, right? And you don't know how to react. And like, obviously the guy is like, all these actions are coming from like this pent up aggression or thoughts or whatever the case may be. But I thought it was really wild the way how he reacted to that. It was kind of like Nolan's
Yeah.
point. It kind of went sideways on that part.
Self-sabotage, man.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah,
yeah, and
absolutely.
And also, like Nolan said, listen, you're going to figure out a ton of shit before you get married. But I feel like something like what she was holding in, you probably wouldn't know. Now, I don't know why she said that because, you know, like she ends up becoming a huge advocate against gun violence. Like, you know, like, so like that kind of turned on everything. But like there are some things like you're going to find out mostly everything. Yeah, you're going to find out if your future spouse is a fucking Yankee fan. Like you would know that probably week 1.
Maybe she's hiding it.
But yeah, because she's scared, yes, of the repercussions. But like ideology, I'm not sure like a lot of people talk about like deep ideology like in the first year you're dating somebody. Like, I mean, you're not sitting there going through a checklist and being like, are you pro-choice or pro-life? Like, like things like that. So I think that it, like I said again, like the concept behind it is deep and it could be relatable to people, right? You know, like in today's day and age, like, you know,
But
it really could.
let me ask this question though. Is there any thought behind it? Like, look, she had said this is where her thoughts, obviously she gave a reasoning as far as why she was in that headspace. But then there was this whole other side, like after the fact, like she was, you know, against gun violence, all this stuff. Like, does she deserve a second chance? She didn't act on it. Like, there's probably hundreds of people that have these thoughts. Now she went far, right? Like she had the gun in the school, the whole nine. But it's like at some point, don't you look at it and be like, okay, like you know, it was a mistake. It didn't really happen, but you learn from it. You grew from it. Like
14-year-old.
Yeah, like,
you know,
I don't know. Like, yeah, it's a crazy subject and it's a crazy thought to have, but like, we're about to get married and I don't know. It's crazy. It really is.
Brad,
really put some thought to it.
He wanted to talk to her about it though.
True.
Like he wanted an explanation kind of, and she didn't want to deal with it anymore, which I'm sure people who go through things like that don't want to talk about it either. But listen, you brought it up. I didn't like find that out. Like, and then you're going to say, well, I was so drunk. So, I mean, you've never been drunk before and that just spews out of your mouth. Like, right. I mean, so like you've been drunk before and I'm sure you've never just shouted that out there. So like now I want an explanation. Like I understand you, Brad. Like, yeah, maybe there is a way to get through this, but you're going to have a serious fucking talk and like sit down and listen, she was bullied in school. We heard that too. We understand that shit. Like, you know, that's not cool either. But right. I think you're going to have a longer conversation about like where your headspace is and like like you said, yes, she does turn over the leaf and come onto the total opposite side of a situation like that, where she's anti-gun violence and at protests and shit. But like, where was your headspace at that time? And like, me personally, I would like to know, like, were you really going to go through with it? Like, I mean, and it was like, oh, well, because that other shooting happened at the mall, I didn't do it. Like, so like, I don't know about that. Yeah. It's a tough conversation to have. I don't know if there's many people out there that want to roll the dice and still go along with getting married. Like, you could have easily just said, like, I need time to process this. Like, I don't care. Also, another thing, just another side story that I didn't think was necessary. Who gives a shit if the DJ was smoking heroin? Like, I don't understand why that's a big deal. No, I'm
I
being
thought they
honest.
go hand in hand, honestly.
Like,
Don't you
that
want a DJ that's having
surprised
fun?
you? And she wasn't like, I think I said this to Brad while we were watching. I'm like, it's not like she was passed out with a booting up on the sidewalk covered with puke and piss and shit. Like, she was doing it recreationally. And you can there are people that are functioning heroin users. So like, don't fault anybody with that. I don't. I took that to heart. I think out of everything in this movie was the fact that they were heroin blaming, like shaming someone. Like, don't
Oh,
drug shame
shit.
somebody, especially when you got crazy shit in your closet. Like, like, you're drug shaming somebody. If now listen, and I said this to Brad at the thing, if she didn't show up to the fucking show and didn't do her DJing and shit like that, maybe you can revert back to that. But let it go. Like, that has nothing to do with nothing. And I don't like drug shaming. I think that's a little petty. I don't care what the drug is. I think it's petty. Like, if somebody can still do their job and still recreationally have fun with whatever drug is of their choice, leave them alone.
Interesting take.
It's not a
Very
bad,
interesting
bad
take.
take.
Don't drug shame.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
the other thing too is like I thought it was interesting that he would flash back to situations in their relationship that like he started to bring like red flags and the way
Yeah.
she acted. Right. It's similar to like I always relate everything to sports, of course, right? The Malik Beasley situation in Detroit when he got caught point shaving. Like they went back and looked at everything and criticized every single shot, everything he missed. And now it's magnified, right? So like, the sex scene where he slapped her, like, dude, what does that mean? You're fucking crazy? Like, no, she's just a king. Whatever. Let her do her thing.
Well, see,
Like,
but that was weird too. That's the first time you slap the shit out of your, fiance. That's weird sometimes. Like, if you would have did kinky shit way before that. So like now, now you want to, be fun and slap me around and stuff. Like, like
he said be fun.
that was a little out of character. So like that was, it was just, there was a lot of little things in there. The drug shaming was number one for me, that it was a no-no. But,
That's where Freddy
all in all,
draws the line.
that's where I draw the line, drug shaming,
Wait, I'm shocked because obviously I got to watch the movie. I had the pleasure of watching with Fred, and I'm surprised that he has not brought up one time the amount of puke scenes that were in this movie. Every time they puked, Freddie was like, "Oh my, is that necessary?"
Well, it's puke, sex, and kill an animal. And in this one, there was a flashback of her pointing the gun at the wolf, if you remember that. So that was their trifecta right there. They just didn't go through with it. But like the puking, I mean, come on, guys. In this day and age, is this what we're doing? Is this the recipe for movie making? Like, it's so silly.
see, again, like this movie, like people loved it. I think that people liked it just because Zendaya was in it. Like,
Yeah. And to be honest with you, when you speak of the
And
puking
Pattinson.
stuff, I'm not going to puke shame her, but like, you're going to drug shame the girl who was just recreationally smoking some heroin. Like, you're getting blasted out of your mind drinking wine and puking all over the place. And then you're going to walk down the street and fire your DJ because she was recreationally smoking some heroin.
Don't
Time
do
to look
heroin.
yourself in the mirror.
That's
Look
a
at
good
yourself
point.
in the mirror.
Don't do heroin. It's a good point, though.
Well, no, I'm not saying don't do heroin. I mean, do
Oh,
heroin.
Okay, yeah.
No.
Whoa.
Do heroin if you wish to. but don't shame other people for doing it. And you're over there getting blasted, getting drunk all the time. We could alcohol shame you. I don't know if anything's worse than the other, like recreationally or long term. We don't know
Well,
anything
one's
about
illegal and
heroin.
one's not.
But does that? I mean, weed was illegal until like yesterday. So like, that's all bullshit.
True.
The reason heroin's not legal is because it's manufactured and the government can't get their fucking hands on it yet. Eventually it may be decriminalized or legal.
Well, we're gonna hold you to that when they start selling heroin on the streets.
I mean, they already do prescription drugs. So like,
There you go.
Big Pharma already took over. Some pills are considered, those Oxycontin 80 grams, the Green Goblins. I don't know if you remember those OC80s. Like that was basically heroin in a pill form. So like, but Big Pharma is allowed to do it, and everything's cool with that. But this poor DJ who, probably does it as a side gig and stuff, just enjoying herself out in front of her apartment with some friends. There was also a couple other people there. And
Yeah,
just
it wasn't like
smoking
she
a
was
little
on the
weed.
park bench doing it on
Do
her
you think
own.
that she was actually doing heroin though, like in public like that, like on the fucking street? Like there was a lot of people there, because if you remember,
why not?
they thought that she was doing heroin well, it's illegal. That's why. Like I'm not saying that like
But
she shouldn't be
so
doing
is-
it. I'm just saying if you're going to smoke heroin, are you going to do it on the city streets of New York City, like with a bunch of
Yeah.
people walking by?
Well,
You
I mean,
are.
smoking weed on the streets of New York City is technically illegal too. I mean, we're talking about semantics here now. Like,
Okay, yeah.
like who says you can't smoke crack or heroin? Like, and
I
yeah,
just
New
always
York
thought
City,
that-
anything goes.
Yeah, well, yeah, including stealing trash cans.
Yeah, getting fired for it too.
Fired for it. Yep, that's too bad. Actually, that was a cool trash can. I don't blame her for taking it.
That was a cool trash can. First
That
of all,
is
you
too bad
throw
that she
cool
was there.
trash cans out there like that, someone's gonna steal.
Yeah.
it.
Somebody's gonna steal it.
Who thought? Hey, let's make a bunch of Nick-colored trash cans. Nobody will take those.
The only
Right.
reason why it's news is because she had a high profile job. That's the only reason. Like if I would have stolen that trash can, which of course I never would put my hands on that trash can, but if I would have and I would have stolen,
Nobody
nobody
would've
would have
heard about
cared. Nobody would have cared. Like you wouldn't you would have posted the video and then it would have been gone.
I think it would have been big news in Lake Orion.
Well, yeah, because people would have been lining up at my house trying to buy the trash can,
I'm not
Hot
sure
item.
Ideal Traits would be down with that.
I can pull my execs.
If
we'll see
you
what-
were caught smoking heroin on the side of the street, would that be something that would be
That's frowned.
frowned upon?
Yeah. I want to say yes.
Fair.
Even though you show up to work and do your job every day,
Yeah.
and you're an outstanding citizen.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah.
I don't know why.
Fred wants to
Hey,
talk to the HR department.
Here's the thing.
That-
I'm not going to test the theory either. I
Fair.
just want to confirm that.
Oh,
Yeah.
you're the kind of guy that would smoke in his house. I get that. Like, like if that's what you're getting at. Like, no, you're not public about it. But, I think that was listen, school shooting, totally separate issue. Crazy issue. Besides that, the next biggest issue was drug shaming the DJ.
Okay.
Fair enough. I bet you
Alright.
did not think when you jumped on this podcast that's where he was going to go.
No, man. No. But you know what? Hey, I mean, he brings up some good points though. But again,
For sure.
luckily, I'm not going to test the theory. So,
Fair enough.
what are you
Yeah,
going to
you
do?
just stay inside.
But I mean, my Red Sox are about to be the worst team in baseball, so you never know.
We got another
Oh.
hour and a half before the 4-game
But-
series starts. You got Slitty today, though. You going to score a run on Slitty?
No.
I think so. I think this is the game. I mean, he's
These
bound
guys.
to. He's bound to have a bad game against the Red Sox.
Are
it's
you going to be
like,
watching the game in Vegas?
Maybe. We're supposed to go do a bunch of stuff. And then the US, here's the thing.
7 o'clock?
I love my guys and they're the best. So, but I think I'm more worried about the US playing today, even though it's a meaningless game for them. I'm more worried about the World Cup or the World Cup game, even though again, it's meaningless, but there's so few of them, right? Where it's like, I can watch the Red Sox every day for the next 3 months. But I
Right.
do think that I told Sarah this as we were on our way to Vegas. I think this is the first year in 6 years that I'm not going to go to Boston to watch the Red Sox at Fenway.
Really?
I think I
That,
just
my
got to put
friend,
my
is
my
true love.
stake. I got to put my no, not Sarah would come with me.
Oh, I thought you
But-
were saying like I did this instead.
No, No, nah. I was thinking about going to the Red Sox because the Yankees and Red Sox play in Boston, doubleheader from a reschedule from a previous game. So I was thinking about flying to Boston Friday night, going to both those games, then flying home real quick. But then I still might do it. But I'm sort of at 50% right now because I think I got to draw a line. Like Fenway, the fans we gotta let them, the ownership, know that this is unacceptable. This can't happen.
Making a statement.
So I will watch from home, but I won't fly to Boston, get a hotel, and pay tickets to go to the game. I still think that that's reasonable. So all those people that will tell me that I'm a bandwagon fan, don't even try.
No, they don't know. They don't know you. You can't
It is
say
what
that.
it is. You
Yeah.
know, I don't think you should break tradition because they're having a bad year or you're not in agreement
True.
with the organization. It's like that would be like not going to the Thanksgiving game because you want Martha to sell a team or something. Like, you know, whatever. Like you know, and I don't think that's good because I go to every Thanksgiving game and
Yeah.
I don't even care about the you know, I think they should have sold the team, you know, after in the 70s, you know, like
This is
so.
when we know that podcast is going too long. When you
But
start
let me
talking
ask
shit about the
Nolan
Lions.
one thing. Let me ask Nolan one thing. Because
Yes.
because he's in a different situation than me, Brad. You say you watched this movie with Sarah. Did she question you at the end of the movie? Like, do you have anything like that
Ooh,
I should
great
know about?
question.
No, she didn't
He
actually.
should though. But
She should.
but I think both of you should have an open conversation about that.
Yeah, I agree.
And maybe we should do it on the podcast.
Next week,
Yeah, next week, Sarah and Nolan get down to business.
4th of
Love it.
July special.
I'm down.
No
with it.
lies.
I might
No
even
lies.
smoke. I might smoke heroin on the podcast for that.
Dude, when he hesitated, I still knew it was coming.
Yeah, for sure.
My God. All right. Drama this week. I think it's safe to say that we all think that this movie is average at best. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. That's depressing, man. Because we still talked about a decent amount of stuff from it, but I was a little worried when we picked this movie because I knew that Freddy, you wanted to see it, but I was hopeful that you guys would have liked it because I knew that I didn't. But you know, I think
You
we all
know,
got
the same.
the same conclusion.
Mary watched maybe the first 20 minutes or so, and then went to bed. And the next day, she said, "Don't tell me because I actually want to watch it." And I said,
Oh.
"Okay." So
be
it'll be
disappointed.
interesting to see when she watches it. She hates
Yeah.
the pukes. That's her. She can't stand that. So, but she did say, you know, don't tell me too much because I want to. Now, maybe she saw on social media about it or something like that. So.
Yep. Yep. All right. What are we watching this week? I looked at the movies this week. It's pretty bad.
Yeah.
Pretty bad. It's Supergirl, Toy Story 5.
Taylor
Swift.
Yeah, she's got
a
song in there. She's got a song in there.
Great.
You know,
Okay.
hopefully she gets an Oscar and completes her EGOT. Remember?
EGOT, yeah, I remember now. Yeah, EGOT. Yeah. Anyways, okay. So I was thinking, I keep seeing this movie and I keep passing over it. A lot of people said it's good. Dead Man's Wire. Have you guys seen it?
I have.
It's supposed to be pretty good.
All right.
Sarah really wants to see it as well.
Okay.
Is
So
that
I
in
think
the
In
theater?
the theater?
No, it's been out for a couple
Okay.
months. It came out around the same time as Drama.
A Dead
Okay.
Man's Wire.
All right. Let's
Okay.
do it.
Does that sound good?
Sounds
Yeah.
like a plan.
We'll stream for another week. And then I think we're getting Odyssey the following weekend, July 11th, I think.
That
I
sounds
think,
about
yeah.
right.
So then we'll go Dead Man's Wire this next week and then right into, well, no, we'll have to do another week and
Yeah.
then Odyssey. Anyways. All right, cool. Dead Man's Wire, another episode. Like and subscribe. I keep getting shocked about the things that we talk about during this 30-minute episode, but hey, I got to stop being surprised. So we'll see you next week. Keep you on your toes. Any last words,
Nolan?
gentlemen?
Yeah. Win some money and stay away from heroin.
Yes, that
Don't.
I will do both of those things
My last words would say, don't drug shame.
for the
Take
people.
care, boys.